All right, guys, what is up? Aron just did a podcast called The Town. We're going to be looking at that, giving you guys my reactions, a little bit of commentary behind that. We're going to be breaking it down as well. He has a little bit of insight for AMC stock. Let's see what the fraud, the silverback, whatever you want to call him, Aron has to say on this podcast. We're going to be checking that out right now. Make sure you guys hit that like button and subscribe and tune into our live streams as we are recording this live as well. So let's go ahead and see what Aron has to say. We're going to be skipping past this part.
Is more than 3 years ago. Here. He will be very familiar to those of anyway. Maybe he's Twitter famous.
He's not. Is he Twitter famous? Only because of the apes. He literally wrote
in his publicly traded company. He will be very familiar to those of you who have been listening to The Town since the early days, more than 3 years ago. In fact, even before that, I named him the inaugural Villain of the Year in my Puck newsletter for his interesting stock sales around that time. That led to he and I starting an ongoing dialogue. It was kind of a dialogue. It was kind of an argument. It was kind of ongoing, sometimes heated. Mostly a good-natured debate about the movie industry, the role that movie theaters play in modern Hollywood, why people complain about them so much, yet keep going back, and the upheaval that the exhibitionist industry has endured over the past 5 years. You can see where this is going. I'm not.
All right, guys, I pointed this out earlier. This guy's sitting extremely flagrant. I'm just pointing that out there.
Direct from Kansas City, I'd like to introduce the most powerful person in the theater industry, the leader of the AMC Apes, a friend to both Nicole Kidman and Taylor Swift.
Notice
the man who sells more popcorn and Coca-Cola than anyone in America, the chairman and CEO of AMC Theaters,
comedy,
my good friend Adam Aron.
This is absolute comedy.
Was that okay?
Bro can barely walk.
You're over here.
Bro came stumbling out.
Thank you,
we
Adam.
Caught that Adam
for those
He's hurting.
Hello, everybody.
Yes. He's hurting.
For those not familiar, we have had a very spirited dialogue over the past few years, but never mean-spirited. Always trying to be positive. Ultimately,
calling someone the villain of the year is not mean-spirited.
Well, I wasn't really going to do this because I was going to avoid this studiously.
Okay.
Getting a little bit of bounce.
The first time I heard of Matt Bellany is when I read his column that I was the villain of the year. And I was really upset.
You weren't thrilled?
I was not happy. And I called you, and you were nice enough to take the call.
I believe this was Christmas Eve. Was it not?
I don't remember. I just remember we went about an hour on the phone where I could tell you, this is wrong, this is unfair, this isn't right.
Yeah. And I had pretty good answers for why it was.
No, you didn't. But
I sense a little hostility.
Here's what I want to say. It's very nice, okay? I since learned that with the exception of that one erroneous article,
just that one,
the only one that I could find, I learned that I think Matt actually is the most informed, knowledgeable reporter. No offense to Lucas, because he just said this about you, but I think he's the most informed reporter in Hollywood. I think he knows what's going on here more than I do.
All right, no spin zone here. No BS.
But I just want to say, yes.
Wait till I ask you why you hate your customers.
It's...
Yo, this dude's keeping it real with
started
them. Why
when you
does
trashed
he hate
me,
the
but
apes
we've gone a long way since then. Yeah, years ago. All right, there we go.
Yo, this might get...
Would you like to start, or should I?
I thought you already asked your first question.
He's coming at his neck a little bit.
I can ask
There's a nice way to...
Well, I have a similar question, but I feel like yours might be better. But so movie theaters, correct me if I'm wrong, generally full like 20% of the time, 15% of the time?
14 if we're lucky.
Right.
Every time
is there
I
another
went, though,
business
was packed.
that is considered successful where you're only 14% full?
Yes, because I use this all the time. I spent 11 years in the airline business. And as an airline executive, if you weren't 80% full and you were in the marketing department, which I was, you'd like slash your wrists. So it's a disaster. But I describe the movie theater industry as a church built for Easter Sunday. And the reality is we're sort of full on Friday and Saturday nights and pretty empty the rest of the time. And that is something
on
that
Monday was
has
pretty-
had my
pretty
attention.
decent.
I've run
Actually, it was
AMC now for almost a decade.
And it just might be
That's
my
something
area,
that
though.
it's had my attention for a full decade. We do need more movies coming out of major studios and minor studios alike. We'll also have to look for alternate uses of our space, in addition to movies, because we have so
How
much
about cutting some of the cost
excess
of your
capacity that's just
grossly overpaid
sitting there
salary?
begging to be used.
But
And it's-
churches are not a business. I mean, many of them are in some ways, but
post-COVID,
Oh, God,
neither
here it goes
have
with the
been we.
that's true. Yes. You said it, not me. Okay. We like to start with the news. So you chose not to play the K-pop Demon Hunters movie this past weekend. We all know why. You have a long-standing feud with Netflix. You will not play their movies.
Yes,
They
but
do
I
not
should
adhere
hit my overall
to
price
a
target
window that you
of,
find acceptable. Your other two rival chains decided to put
647.
aside
It will
that
hit my
beef
price
and
target,
play
but
that movie
calls
for 2
would
days.
have
Why did you not?
burned
but
out.
don't you feel good?
You dropped
sitting
down,
next
calls
to
would have burned
someone
out, but it's
who
going to hit my
actually
price
has
target of
Okay.
647.
No. Are you kidding?
GameStop pushing up a little bit here as well.
You're in Hollywood, so that nobody feels good about that.
And a backbone. And but to slightly correct the question, and it's kind of like we've been funny, haha, but it's like time to be serious. Nothing would make me happier than for Netflix to want to show movies theatrically. We have been trying for years now to convince Netflix that the most successful movies
More
on streaming
information in the
services
Day Chat and
are those
Discord.
which have had a robust theatrical release.
Paramount says that's settled. Last week,
We
at
have
an
to
event
talk
for
over the
media, they
video. That's
said
part of it. I
it's
can't just
settled now
record it.
that movies that go to theaters first do better on streaming.
Well, I agree with them. And by the way, it's settled at Paramount and it's settled at Disney.
We have to pause the video and talk over it, brother. You can't just record it and then post it.
And at Warner Brothers, and at Universal, and at Amazon, and at Apple. It's just not, F1.
Well, they put Amazon
Wait.
and Apple both put movies on their streaming service.
F1.
Yeah, the windowing is not secure. We'll get to that, but the windowing at the streamers is not.
But
the major
F1 was a
studios-
major theatrical release, and we've thought, and my hat's off to Apple. I think they did a great job with F1, and it was a wonderful movie. And you didn't have to be an F1 fan to really enjoy the story. It was really a well-made movie. But I think we won that argument with
watched
everybody.
F1.
But
F1 was. If you guys haven't seen F1, definitely want to check that one out. F1 was awesome, dude.
at Netflix, and we've tried. I personally spent hours and hours trying to get The Irishman into theaters.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Did you feel like that was going to happen? Is that the closest you've gotten to having a
No,
deal
the
with?
closest we got was the Knives Out sequel, The Glass Onion.
Glass Onion.
Which we actually played, hoping that it would convince Netflix that they would make money from it, and it would increase the ratings of Glass Onion on its streaming platform.
But let's go
I
back
can't-
to The
but-
Irishman for a second, because that was one of my things that readers said was one of the biggest calamities of the past 15 years. You guys were close. Netflix wanted to put Irishman in theaters, mostly probably because Scorsese wanted it. And at the time, I believe your reporting was that it was a 45-day window that Netflix was willing to do, and you said no.
No. I thought the
said no,
understanding.
that's-
Yes. Well, my understanding was that you and Scott Stuber had an agreement at 60, but Ted and Reed insisted on 45.
And I don't believe in kissing and telling in public. So
Yo, if Adam Aron denied that deal because of basically ego, that is a complete disaster.
don't think it's appropriate for me to share what we agreed to and what we didn't agree to. And all I can say is this. We tried very hard to make it happen. I talked for hours and hours with Scott Stuber. He tried internally to make it happen. And at the end of the day, there was not corporate agreement between Netflix and AMC as what the window would be, what their film rent would be, et cetera, and it didn't happen. And it's a shame. And we did it with Glass Onion, and we haven't done it since. And we did announce we were going to play Narnia, and that is yet another carrot out to Netflix. We didn't do it so much for Netflix, we did it more for IMAX. IMAX, we're very close to IMAX, and this was an important project for IMAX. And as a favor to the CEO of IMAX, I said, yes, we'll play Narnia. Other circuits have not yet said yes.
That is true.
And this still dangles out a carrot. I don't want to be a foe of Netflix. Netflix is a great company. I would love to play Netflix movies in our theaters, but hence going back to principles and this past weekend and K-pop, we need a respectable theatrical window, because if I do something for Netflix, a 2-week window or something, how do I say to Disney or Warner Brothers or Sony or Paramount, oh, yeah, but for you, it's 45 days. It's just not right. So,
but is it different if it's just, I mean, this is a movie that came out 2 months ago. You're doing 2 days. It's not
a stunt.
Yeah.
You play movies all the time that came out and have been on home video for a long time. You did E.T. re-release. You're doing Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, he's tripping, bro. He's tripping. Aron's tripping. These guys are actually asking real questions that could really, 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 really help AMC a lot, because we are getting a big boost from the box office. But if we could get these other releases in the theaters, it could really help expand things and really revolutionize the movie theater business as a whole.
Re-release.
But that's different. Those are re-releases, and they're intended to be re-releases. They're not intended to be new movies. If this industry, like you said, that David Ellison said this is a settled question, and I believe he's right.
He has an incentive to say that, by the way. He's competing for talent with Netflix and going aggressively after their talent. And I've always said that the talent is going to be what breaks Netflix. It's not going to be you. They don't need you. It's going to be filmmakers that say, we're going to take our project you want to Paramount because they're going to give us theaters.
You're probably right. But having said that, David Ellison did actually say it's a settled question. And we believe that it's in studios' interest to take movies to theaters first, because if they do, when those movies, first of all, they're going to make a lot of money. Remember, this industry pre-COVID grows $43 billion globally, and the studio's share of that is substantial. We believe they'll make a lot of money from their theatrical run, and when they then take the movies to streaming services, they're going to be watched that much more. It's not going to be some endless scroll of title after title after title that you don't know what the movie is. I mean, the most successful movie, I think, on Paramount Plus was Top Gun Maverick. Why? Because it was $1.5 billion theatrical run. That's why. Having said that, if the industry trains consumers that movies aren't going to have a theatrical run, they just wait a week or two, and movies are at the home, free, I might add.
Well, free with quotes.
Well, incrementally free, right? I mean, you pay your monthly fee, but watching the next movie doesn't cost anything. If we train consumers to stay home, they will do what we train them to do. They will stay home. That's not good for studio incomes who depend on their split of ticket revenue. So I think Ellison is right, and it's in my interest to say that too, right?
Sure, of course.
But I happen to believe it, which makes it even more convenient.
But do you feel like you may have already lost that battle? Like, are you going to get people who now just wait for movies to be available at home to come more just because the window goes?
Do you guys wait for movies to come out at home? Because I'd rather if it's I'd rather go to the movies and have that experience. But would you guys rather watch movies at home or wait for them to come out at home? Let me know in the comments.
2 weeks to 4 weeks or 6 weeks?
Depends on your perspective. We've sort of won the war, or we've sort of lost the war.
Maybe, but if you're waiting like 6 weeks,
we've lost the war in the sense that
movies, bro.
For 11 years in a row, pre-COVID, the box office was this is the domestic box office, the basic unit of measurement of this industry. Canada and Mexico, Canada and the U.S., all theaters, all movies. The box office was over $10 billion 11 years in a row. It was over $11 billion 5 years in a row, the last 5. And it's we're in year 5 of walking through the wilderness, and the box office will be over $9 billion this year, but it's not going to be 10. It's not going to be 11. So,
And a lot of that is due to price increases in PLFs, premium screens.
Yeah.
Yes.
The number of tickets sold is down.
but here's why we've won. I said, depending on your perspective. If you look at individual movie titles, there are plenty of movie titles that are doing wonderfully well. And I think we have proven over and over and over and over that when Hollywood makes a movie that has real appeal, consumers pour out in droves. We're now putting out press releases kind of routinely on Monday mornings after huge weekends. And I'm signing off on press releases that say there were 5 million people in our theaters this weekend. There were 7 million people in our theaters. And when I say our theaters, I don't mean the whole industry. I mean just AMC.
Man, when I went to the theaters,
people are showing up.
There was a lot of people
Go back to, we didn't make we only showed movies for 103 years. And 2 years ago, we did our famous Taylor Swift movie.
A lot of
that grossed $260 million plus. I mean, our theaters were packed.
Okay, but that's not all the time. And it's not, the way you have increased your margins and made more money is from ticket increases and from in-theater advertising. So I want to talk about that.
But that's actually incorrect. The way we've actually survived COVID and the way that we've made our money, such as it is. And
besides becoming a meme stock.
Besides that. and I almost don't understand. I understand why the phenomenon occurred.
Becoming a meme stock and diluting on us. God, pisses me off to no end, dude.
And why the phenomenon has remained, but it has. Pre-COVID, we sold $5 a head of food and drink to the.
And do you know how he doesn't contribute any of the success of AMC to us? He actually thinks that he did something. This should piss all of us off because the apes saved. Make no mistake about it. Okay? The apes saved AMC. Because without the apes buying and for them to be there to dilute on, and also the fact that we go out to the movies in droves and support, the apes saved AMC, make no doubt about it. He didn't save AMC, nothing he did. He doesn't even do smart business strategies. He's a horrible business strategist.
Average, the people who came into our theaters.
As these guys are pointing out.
Everybody stops at a concession stand. Like around half the people who come to a movie theater just buy their ticket. They go into their seat. They don't buy like 1 cent, nothing.
Well, it's because they've stuck the food in their coats and, yeah.
Just you.
Just me, yeah.
Anyway, and you're banned from our theater. No, but on average, we sold $5 a head. We came back from COVID.
If you're
it was
broke,
over $8
though, if you go to the movies and have to hide food, if you're broke, just say it. I mean, honestly. Like, I go to the movies and buy food because I'm not broke.
First day we finally reopened. And our profit margin on food and drink is really high. I mean, like we sell...
That's because it's so high quality.
By the way, we're on like 9 questions at the same time, but it is high quality. I actually once went to a cornfield in Illinois.
Oh, God.
I got a picture, and I inspected the corn with the guy who grew the corn.
Please tell me there's a video of this.
Yeah. And he told me, you buy the best corn there is. Wait. And I was running the largest theater chain in the world. We saw like tons of popcorn every day. And I didn't even know there were different grades of corn. So I went back to my F&B department and said, I was just told by the farmer that we buy the best. Oh, yes, we buy the top grade of corn. So it is our quality. But
I thought that story ended with you telling them to cut the budget of the corn.
No, actually, it was the opposite. And this shows you, you're a pessimist and I'm an optimist. Yeah. And you're a little cynical about how businesses work. And I actually believe that the best way for a company to thrive is to please its customers. I've always felt that.
Okay, but then let's go back to the ads, because that does not please the customer. They absolutely hate it.
I understand. I'll come there in a second. But going back to the corn. What you said, like, tell them cut the budget.
Aaron's
No,
kind
what
of a
I
clown,
said,
bro.
sign it up on a long-term contract. Because I don't
GameStop
want
a little bit recovery here.
I want to
AMC
always buy the
270,
best corn, and I don't want to run
646,
short, and I don't want them
78,
raising the
heading
price on
towards
us in
that
future years.
647
So actually, that is what
price
I
target.
said when I came back from the cornfields.
Okay.
But it is quality. And I don't even know how we got there. But
Do you think that the experience at an AMC theater is measurably better than the experience at a Regal or any other theater?
I absolutely do.
But
I
you
absolutely
used
do.
to tell me that,
The
and you would
seats are
say, because
way
our
better.
commercials before, our pre-show is shorter than theirs.
I never said that.
You did say that.
I never said that.
You said we had an opportunity to put an ad between the final trailer and the movie,
That
and we
is true.
chose not to do that.
That is true.
And now you do that.
That is true.
So
But
let's get to the ads.
But I
I'm
want to go
harping
back
on this because
But I want to go
people-
back to his question before we go to your question. I actually do believe that an AMC customer has a better experience than at competitors' theaters. I think. Thank you.
Yeah, we got some A-list members there, some Stubbs A-list. There we go. Hottest club in America, according to the Wall Street Journal.
And the LA Times. but I also believe not just that the experience is better in AMC theater, but also that AMC customers are more brand loyal to us because of all the things we do. How do we make it better? We've got more IMAX auditoriums than anybody else in North America.
That is true.
AMC has 50% of all the IMAX auditoriums in North America. We have, in the last, actually in the 9 years
Normally
I
when
run the
you
company,
see
when I got to
IMAX,
AMC, we had
You go to an AMC. That's legit, bro.
5 Dolby Cinemas. I saw one movie in Dolby Cinema, said, this is amazing. We need more of these. I called the CEO of Dolby, who I was just meeting for the first time, and said, let's dramatically expand your business. We now have 169 Dolby theaters. We just put out a Dolby Cinema theaters. We just put out a press release a couple of months ago. We're going to grow that number by another 40. And the PLFs are just one example of things that we've done to make the experience better and a whole lot more. In marketing, we invented A-List. And A-List is very popular.
Well, wait a second. Movie Pass invented A-List. And you said, holy shit, we're getting our ass kicked by this Movie Pass thing. We need our own version of that.
Actually, that really isn't true. But no, wait. No, I'm not.
Please tell us.
But I'm going to share with you, this audience. This is not widely known. So I came from the ski resort industry, among other places. I ran some of the best ski resorts in Colorado, including Vail. And we converted the whole day ticket market in Colorado to season passes. And since then, actually, they've converted the whole universe to season passes. And so on my long legal pad with all these ideas I had when I joined AMC in 2016, I said, what about a subscription program? And about 6 months before MoviePass launched, we said, all right, we're finally going to do it. And we went around to every studio pitching the subscription program. And one studio said, they basically all said yes, okay, except for one.
And why was it Disney?
And and the one.
And how quickly did they escort you out?
No. And the one said, we're all for the idea, but we can't do it before January 1 because we have a contractual deal with a certain streamer that prohibits us from doing this. So we're supportive, but you got to wait till January. And in July or August, MoviePass launched. So actually, before then, we were going to go.
It was your idea, yes.
I will say,
having said that, MoviePass did come along, and it was a nightmare for us because we believed in the concept, and we were planning to launch, but we were planning to launch at a $20 price point, and they came out at a $10 price point, and we were convinced that at a $20 price point, you could make this thing work. This is in 2018. This is a long price point ago. At $20 price point, you could make it work, and at $10, it would be an economic disaster. and it turned out to be an economic disaster. And the two principals of MoviePass have both been charged federally with securities fraud.
That is true.
Right?
Yes.
Serious. No, that's not
although
a joke.
MoviePass still exists, I want to say they reinvented in their back.
Totally different.
Yes, different
version.
model.
But anyway, so yes, it was. It's a good thing that we did, and we always loved the idea, and we didn't do it because MoviePass forced us. We did it as soon as we could. Having said that, I think you want to come back to advertising, right?
You've avoided it for 10 minutes. Please. This is the number one thing.
Time's up already.
No. This is the number one thing.
It was so nice to be with all of you people tonight.
People absolutely hate it. And when you went from 20 to 30 minutes on the pre-show, studios finally pushed back and said, "What are you doing?" And then you walked it back a little. Explain what you did and why you continue to subject people to this.
Okay, so you're
30
about
minutes late and
80%
avoid all the
okay.
ads.
No, that's pretty good.
You can come to the movies and it literally tells you how long the previews are. You can come and watch. You don't have to watch the previews. You can come to the movie like exactly the time where the movie starts.
Actually,
so if you're so dumb that you can't come to the movies,
first of all, you're
because
correct.
you don't want to watch the previews.
But I
and
hate
can't
this idea.
Factor in that time.
The
that's
idea
on
is
you,
basically
bro.
to show
Nobody's
a 1-minute
forcing you to
commercial,
watch that.
2 trailers before the movie starts. I hate this idea. And I resisted it and fought it for years. And our 2 largest competitors started doing this 7 years ago. And we're getting paid handsomely for it. And in the first quarter this year, when the box office was very low and we were bleeding cash in our 5th year post-COVID of bleeding cash, we finally realized, we looked, and our 2 competitors who have been doing this since 2018, Cinemark and Regal, and taking the money, we did our work, and they did not lose market share because they did this. So even though I hate the idea of it, we really needed the money. And consumers, even though you say consumers hate it, consumers have been having this at Cinemark and Regal since 2018, and consumers weren't pushing back.
Yes,
And we
movies
finally
start anywhere
decided we
from
could
20
no
to 30
longer
minutes after
spot our
showtime.
competitors,
It's easy.
the tens of millions of
It's
dollars
easy,
they were
dude.
receiving from this advertising. So we
Guess
agreed
what
to
TikTok's
lengthen our
bringing
pre-show
as
by
common as it is
exactly
crazy.
6 minutes.
That's what you could expect.
Okay? We knew when we did that, and it's not something we wanted to do, and it's something we
Yo, Cody, you're right, dude.
resisted for years and years. But at some point, it's irresponsible not to take the money if the consumer is telling us because we weren't being rewarded with incremental market share away from the guys who are already doing it.
94 people watching right now. Thank you. I appreciate it.
When we did it, we knew we were lengthening the pre-show. We weren't lengthening the pre-show from 20 to 30. We were lengthening by exactly 6 minutes. And we knew that if there was pushback, that we would have to immediately shorten. And actually, while you described the studio's reaction,
Movie
that
trailers are part of the
really
experience. Yeah, movie trailers are part of the experience. You see about the new
studios
movies.
bitch at us all the time. It's like part of life.
Yes.
And by the way, I say that
Nobody's a
in
fan
love
of
with
that.
studios because like we got all of our product from studios. We work so hard to have a great partnership with every studio. We lean into their movies. We do everything we can think of to sell tickets for their movies. We do everything we can think of to make movie going pleasant.
Oh,
for our
wow, a
mutual
super
guests,
chat, bro.
theirs and ours. But it wasn't to push back.
Yo, thank you, Elijah, for the super chat, man. I truly appreciate that, bro. Yeah, we're watching this interview from the town with Matthew. It's pretty good, man. Dope stuff right now, actually.
From studios that alarmed us. It was pushback from consumers because we take consumer feedback very
Thanks for the
seriously.
super chat.
And our ears are to the ground, and we pay a lot of attention to what the guests in our theaters say. And if we do something they like, we try to do more of it. And if we do something they dislike, we try to do less of it. And we knew when we made this decision to lengthen the pre-show,
Some chats
we
today.
might have to shorten. And
But you suggested in a tweet or in a comment that people should just show up late.
well, not exactly.
And-
what we said.
And the studios don't like that because they want people to watch their trailers.
Well, I want people to watch the trailers too, because I think it's the
By
best
pushing
ad
towards
that
647
studios
price
have for their
target.
movies, and it's the best ad that we have
GME getting a recovery here. GME getting recovery here. I told you guys meme stocks looking good. SPY pushing towards 647 price target.
Get people to come into theaters to watch the movies. What we did put out a message was, and by the way, that message has always been on our website. It just was a little more buried, and we made it a little more visible.
You've told me many times. I show up 25 minutes late.
Personally, I do.
Yes.
Because I knew the movie started 25 minutes after showtime.
Yes.
On average, and now they start 30. And we gave more when we lengthened the pre-show, we gave more visibility to the message that feature films start 25 to 30 minutes at posted showtime.
Because we
didn't want to mislead consumers that you got to rush, you got to get there on the dot of when the showtime is, and they sit there for 25 minutes and they're upset. But when we did this to lengthen the pre-show 6 minutes, we knew we might have to if it sort of didn't work, we'd have to shorten the pre-show by 5 or 6 minutes, and that's what we're doing right now. So we're cutting out about 2-ish minutes from all the marketing stuff we do.
Why do you do that? Why are there 4 separate AMC ads during the pre-show?
Because they work.
But what does working mean?
You need to market AMC to people who are sitting in an AMC theater?
Yes.
Yeah, why is that?
Because
Nicole Kidman, great. Just have that.
That is true.
Because one of those minutes, 35 seconds of those minutes, is talking about how good A-List is. And A-List has gone from 500,000 members 3 or 4 years ago to 1 million members today. And that's a really important program for us. And that's a very important communication for us to make. And we put it far enough away from the way we put it, most of it way up front. Not Nicole. She's right before the movie starts.
Of course.
She deserves it.
Is a new one coming, by the way?
Someday.
Yeah, you teased a new one, and it wasn't a new one. It was a recut old one.
That's right.
You better not pay her so much money for another ad, bro. Do not. Do you guys want another Nicole Kidman ad? Let me know in the chat. Do you guys want him to pay a whole bunch of money to Nicole Kidman for another ad? Let me know in the comments below, please.
I told you, he knows what's going on. It's,
okay. So,
and by the way, we're going to do it again for another year, and we're going to recut it even shorter.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice. We'll get another hit out of that. I hope she gets paid more.
Of course.
Yeah.
But I gotta finish the advertising question. So we're taking about 2 minutes of the marketing fluff out, and we're going to show one less trailer because we actually show one more trailer than everybody else now. And if you add those two together...
How many trailers are you up to per movie?
I think we do 8 and everybody else does 7. So we're going to go back to 7, like they do. And that cuts 2.5 minutes plus the marketing fluff. So we're going to shorten the pre-show by the same 5 minutes that we added to. And I do believe that will be sufficient to please the movie-going public.
Have you ever done a study where you posed whether people would pay $2, $3 more for zero
she wasn't wearing anything.
pre-show?
No.
That's insane.
No, we haven't. Never dawned on me to try that.
Okay. Are you kidding?
What? No.
You've never done that? You've
Never tried that. But also we have a contract with a third party that wouldn't allow us to.
Right.
We would be in breach if we did that. So.
You mentioned earlier having sort of a love-hate relationship with the studios.
No, it's more love.
More love.
Love. Mild upset. Love.
It's dysfunctional often.
Which is the hardest studio to deal with?
And why is it Disney?
That was my question, but I did the why is it Disney earlier, so I didn't feel like I could repeat.
Sometimes you're a bit unfair. And I will tell you, I've run this company for 9 years and 8 months, and my interactions at every level at Disney have been spectacular. And I'm not...
When they're asking for 70% of opening weekend and the split argument is getting really heated...
They don't ask us for 70% opening weekend.
They don't?
No.
Okay.
It helps to be the largest movie theater chain in the world. It helps to sell the most tickets for any studio than anybody else. But having said all that, and I know we were joking earlier and you were saying about like people who say nice things about people. I actually meant what I just said. Our relationships at every level of Disney are spectacular. And I've told them this over and over again. I said, if Disney is a good quarter, we're going to have a good quarter. And if Disney's a bad quarter, we're going to be in trouble. If Disney is a big movie, AMC is going to be really full. And if Disney has a flop, AMC is going to really feel it. So I have so much appreciation for what Disney does. And if you go back over time, I mean, they've had a quarter or two where they've missed, or they've had a movie or two where they've missed. But if you go back the 10 years that I've run this company, Disney's had a lot of hits. Disney's had a lot of success.
But does the Marvel weakness scare you? The new normal for Marvel is not where we were pre-COVID.
Would I love it if Disney is even more successful than it is today? Yeah, I would.
But it's got to be concerning beyond one-off titles.
Well,
it's got to be concerning that each of these Disney Marvel movies seems to be stuck in that 400 to 600 realm and not above that.
We are only 120 days away from a little movie, you may have heard of it, called Avatar, Fire, and Ash.
Yes, okay.
And look,
I stop the clock on how long it took him to get to Avatar.
I happen to be an optimist about the future of the box office. You and I did a panel together a year and a half ago at CinemaCon, and the box office had been just dreadful up until that panel. Mm-hmm.
GameStop
and I went on that panel,
up,
and I said, it's about to turn, and the rest of the year is going to be great. And people looked at me like I was a man from Mars.
Back just a little bit after heading to
haven't you look in the rearview mirror like it's been terrible. And sure enough,
price target.
It was great the next 8 months. And as I look ahead, when we called this year, we said the first quarter was going to be a debacle. Second quarter is going to be great. The third quarter is going to be soft. The fourth quarter is going to be great. And all of 2026 is going to be great. And I think just like that prediction I made in April of 24 turned out to be right, I think the prediction that we made at the beginning of this year, and I'm reiterating it again tonight unchanged, I think July and August, September are going to be a little weak. I think October, November, December are going to be great. And I think 26 is going to be a banner year.
Didn't you guys say 2025 was going to be the banner year?
Well, 2025 is probably going to end up, nobody knows exactly, but let's call it $500 million to $800 million bigger than 2024. So that's an improvement. And I think 2026 is going to be $500 million to $800 million, $500 million to $1 billion more than 25. And if you look at our industry, like the sad truth is, pre-COVID, you didn't need to be real smart to run a movie theater company. You didn't. The grosses were very reliable. The income flow was very reliable.
But that's kind of the problem. That's why there hadn't been any innovation.
You keep saying that. I keep on giving you this list of all things you've done.
You talk about the recliners. I know you.
Okay, innovation.
But before we go to innovation, just the box office was over 11 billion 5 years in a row. Then it was 2. That's a real kick in the teeth. Then it was 4.5. Then it was 7.5. Then without the Taylor Swift, the Beyonce movies, it would have been 8.7. It was 9 because we invented those in like a few months. Then if there were strikes, it fell back to 8.7, basically flat with the year before, prior to, if you exclude Taylor and Beyonce. Then this year, where nobody knows exactly, but call it between 9.0 and 9.6, you know. I think there's a fighting shot that next year is between 9.5 and 10.5. We'll see. It's not back yet to pre-COVID levels, but it's a lot stronger than it's been. If we don't, our profit per patron is up exactly 48% today versus pre-COVID levels. So what we earn from an average consumer coming into a theater, our profit's up by close to 50%. Why? They're buying more food and drink.
Popcorn buckets.
And they're buying merchandise.
Booze.
They're buying. We didn't have bars 10 years ago. We have 350 bars.
There's a bar in the AMC where I go to.
Makes the movie better too.
Yeah.
But merchandise. 3 years ago, we didn't sell any movie-themed merchandise. None.
Yeah, that is insane to me. I don't understand. You've got people, like, the theme parks know to put the gift shop right when you come out, and the theaters somehow
we learned
didn't.
it. And right now, we're pushing around $100 million a year of movie-themed merchandise in our theaters. From nothing 3 years ago. And this is how we survived COVID, actually, because we figured out other things to sell people.
So people have said for years that you should do lower prices during the week. You've had Tuesday discounts. You then, this summer, have switched to Wednesday also discounts. How did that happen when people have been saying this for a decade at least, that you should have another night of discounts? Why did it take so long? And how does the split work with the studios when you are charging 50% of ticket prices?
So I want to give someone credit. I come out, we're based in Kansas City, where 3 vaudeville Chiefs, Travis Kelce, I got it.
Don't minimize that, please.
I'm not.
It's a big moment for both of them.
For the whole world.
Yes.
Yeah, I know. I have the greatest respect. Just remember, we did a Taylor Swift movie 2 years ago. I have the greatest. Words cannot describe how much respect and appreciation I have for Taylor.
Do you want to FaceTime Scott, her father? You've tweeted a lot about her.
I do, because we owe her a lot. We made a lot of money on the Eras Tour movie. Anyway.
So did she.
And she deserves it.
Yeah.
But anyway, how do we get there?
The 50% off nights.
50% off. To give somebody credit, we're based in Kansas City. I come out to Hollywood kind of every 6-8 weeks personally, and I usually make the rounds and see a lot of people. And I was at a meeting at Sony, and with Tom Rothman, the head of Sony.
Yeah, the head of Sony.
And he took my head off. And he said, movies are too expensive. And literally a light bulb went off.
That can't be true.
I swear to God.
It took a meeting with Tom Rothman to think that maybe a 50% night would be good to double. The numbers on Tuesdays have been larger than the rest of the week for years.
Well, he wanted me to cut prices 7 days a week.
Okay.
And I said that would probably be a disaster, because there are many markets where we tried to cut prices and all it does is cut our income. But I swear a light bulb went off in that meeting, and I thought it's finally time to try. Let's take Discount Tuesdays and turn into Discount Wednesdays.
But they recently advertised this on the Times Square billboard.
Do you eat that? Do the studios still charge you the same for the rental, and then you have to eat the difference?
No, they still get the same percentage of the gross on Wednesdays that they got before. Just prices are lower.
They want to make it up on volume.
And the law says that studios are not allowed to participate in our pricing strategies. But the reality is, it's not. We're not going to break the law, but we need to build. We're a real company with like real money at stake, and we have real partners and real partnerships. And if we just go off half-cocked and do crazy things, that's not a good way to win friends and influence people.
Like posting memes of yourself as an ape on Twitter. That's
okay.
Yeah. Okay.
They don't care. But when we do something big, we like to build consensus. So we ran around the major studios, and we're thinking about doing for Wednesdays what we did for Tuesdays, and we delivered your speech. Look, Tuesdays are our highest patronage midweek day, and we get so much more income on a Tuesday than we get on a Monday or Wednesday. We should try this for Wednesdays also. And their first reaction was, I don't know. But we went at it for a couple of weeks.
So is it working?
Seems to. It's a little early to declare victory.
Thank you so much. Watching.
It's only been in place since July 2.
Mm-hmm. This Aaron isn't live right now.
And we're only like 7 or 8 weeks into it. We definitely have seen attendance spikes.
This was 3 days ago.
It's not clear to me yet that the attendance spike is more than the price cut. But the attendance spike, so we might be a little behind in this last month and a half. But the attendance spike is so dramatic that it's clear that people are seeing the message. And I think if we stay at this for a while, we have the chance to make Wednesday a strong day rather than a weekday. Weekday.
Why is there not more variable pricing in general, right? Like you have a big movie that comes out on a weekend, everyone wants to see it, you could charge $20, $25, $30 for it.
You added a surcharge.
You have a movie in weekend 3, you could any movie, even on the weekend, could be a discount.
So we've tried it over and
That's
over,
smart.
lots of different ways. Number one, we just tried cutting prices. Like let me start with the pro-consumer thing rather than we raised price. We tried raising price on weekends, and once we started pushing above a $2 price premium, it looked like we went backwards, not forwards. I'm talking about the U.S. market now. It's very different in Europe. We tried that, and that worked. We tried what we called blockbuster pricing, which we charged a couple of bucks more for a big movie title than a small movie title. When we launched blockbuster pricing, we launched it only for the first week and second weekend, but then we reverted back to the regular price. Since about a year,
About to hit the
year and a half
647
ago,
price target.
on blockbuster pricing, we maintained the blockbuster surcharge for the whole length of the run. We've tried
He needs a
discounting
huge code.
movies at the end of the run. So many is the occasion where we call them $5
That is
fan
grinding
faves,
Adam Aron
where
up
we'll
right now.
discount prices at the end of a run because demand in the 6th week or the 9th week isn't what it was in the first week or second week. We tried one famously that still kicks me in the teeth that it didn't work, which is we called it sightline seating. And
I remember that.
and we tried to charge a higher price in the best seats of the house than we did in the worst seats of the house. And my recollection, these are not exact numbers, but close enough. Like 80% of the and by the way, these are not big surcharges. These are $1 or $2. These
I
aren't
need to grab a drink real quick,
$10
guys.
and $20 surcharges. Because when we tested super premiums, it was clear there's enormous consumer pushback. Like 80% of our guests happily paid for the better seats. 10% of our guests moved from the better seats to the worse seats, which opens up the better seats for more people. But 10% of the people went to our competitors because none of our competitors matched us. And whatever we made from the 80% who paid a little more was dwarfed by the 10% who deserted us to our competition. So we had to abandon that effort. So I think that we have experimented with a lot of pricing, both up and down. And the most recent example is 50% off Wednesdays. And hopefully, that's why I'd rather talk about the price experiments where we went down than the price experiments where we went up. But hopefully this one will work, because if we could make it cheaper for moviegoers to go see movies in a theater and make more money in the process, then everybody wins. If by cutting the price we cut our own profits, that's probably not a good thing to do. But we're going to see what happens. But juries, it's way too early to decide if it worked or not, but it seems to be working so far. That would be my guess.
All right, Lucas alluded to it before. I want to get back to your relationship with the streamer services, with Amazon, with Apple. We don't have to talk about Netflix, but you're making the rounds. What are you hearing from Apple on their willingness to put movies in theaters? They're very happy with F1. They still have not committed to robust
F1 was
theatrical
fire.
releases for upcoming movies.
So let's talk about both of them. I think we have, I would say we, I mean AMC. I think we've got superb relationship with Amazon MGM. And we have superb relationships now with Apple. We way over-delivered. We really leaned into F1, both because it was a really good movie and because it was so important for us.
Yeah, if it failed, they were out.
And if they succeeded, we thought they would be in. Mm-hmm. And we've heard that from lots of levels at Apple. And fortunately for us and for them, I think F1 was a big success. So while they've made no announcements, I'm hopeful.
I went to see F1 over Jurassic World. And I love Jurassic Park, but I feel like they're milking the Jurassic World series now. Let me know if you guys feel the same way, and let me know if you've seen Jurassic World. But I talk about that in my AMC video dropping here on the 12th.
That their success, I mean, this is one of the most
But
successful.
have they said that to you?
What's that?
In your meetings,
I'm
has
dropping
Apple
another
said,
AMC
we are
IRL
going to put
video.
our movies in theaters for a meaningful window?
I should let Apple say for Apple what Apple wants to say about Apple.
But did you leave those meetings feeling happy?
Yes. Very, very happy.
Okay.
And let's just say that we leaned in very hard to do our bit to help make sure that F1 succeeded, because our bet was that if F1 succeeded, Apple would actually be a robust maker of movies. We'll find out together whether they are not, but I'm very happy for Apple at the results of that movie. This isn't their first effort, but this was a really big success.
Not embarrassing, which for Apple is good enough.
This is the
How
difference
does
between
this
you
thing
and
only
me.
have
No, $600 million. That's
it's
it's better than not embarrassing.
Not
They made their
embar-
money back, and they
Spiders hit the
it's a hit.
6.7.
And not embarrassing is not charitable enough to Apple, because it wasn't not embarrassing. It was
No, the reason I said
it
it
was
is
a big
because the
success.
other movies were embarrassing, and unlike traditional movie studios that can say we release all movies, all types, we have flops and hits, it was a PR drag for them, which for Apple is unacceptable. So that's why I mentioned that.
Apple is used to success.
Yeah.
Right? And I just one second.
Yeah.
And I'm glad for them that F1 was a success. I'm glad for us that Apple had a very successful movie. And remember my whole premise on why streamers should want robust theatrical releases. I'll bet you that when F1 hits the Apple streaming service, it's an immensely successful title, rather than it's just one more movie that you've never heard of on a streaming service. And so I hope that Apple will release more movies. I think that Apple will release more movies, but I know that this one was something that they should be very proud of and deserve all kinds of accolades. And it's not just Apple. Same with Amazon.
Well, that's the thing. Amazon has committed to releasing movies in theaters. They have not committed to what the windows will be for that movie. And I know that several of the theater chains were...
Yo, I said that earlier. We saved the company. Bro, I said that earlier. We saved the company. And Aron tries to say, oh, I did all this revolutionary stuff. Aron saved the company. No, the apes saved the company. Him being allowed to dilute saved the company.
annoyed with what they did with Red One, the Dwayne Johnson movie this past
Now,
holiday
F1
season, where
coming to
it
the
was in
movies,
theaters
now
for
people know
Thanksgiving,
what
but
it
on
is.
the
That's
service
true.
by Christmas. And that window is typically not enough for you.
Although you'd be amazed how many studios are releasing I'll call
Not movies of that size.
you'd be amazed how many movies some studios, not all, are, excuse the French, cheating on the 45-day window.
Well, but typically in premium video on demand, not putting it on Prime Video, which is available to most Americans.
That's also accurate. Having said that, look, I'm a firm believer that when COVID came, every studio experimented with all sorts of stuff. Take movies just to streaming services. Disney did some of that on Disney Plus. Warner Brothers under Kylar, remember, took movies to the home and theater in the same day.
AMC
That was a
270.
disaster.
I didn't think you could say his name. That's
I have a little twitch.
Jason Kylar, yeah.
They experimented with everything, and where we supposedly landed up was the old 74-day window was going to be a 45-day window. And what's happened is, I don't know, half the movies are a 45-day window. Disney's movies are all a 60-day window, but there are a lot of movies that are hitting the home at 25 to 35 days. And we think it's really important. I think that we'll never get back to a 74-day window again. But it'd be nice to actually adhere to a 45-day window. It's going to be something that will appeal to some studios and be a fist fight with
But
others.
they haven't guaranteed or said that they're committed to that.
Who's the they?
Amazon.
No, but neither is anybody else other than Disney.
You talked
but-
earlier, I'm curious about how the key to AMC's success is that your customers have a better experience
Right.
than at other chains. Do you feel like extending the window is a good customer experience?
Oh, real.
Look, as you phrase the question,
Genius.
I assume that if movies could go to the home for free on day one, that would be the thing that some consumers might like the most.
They'd also prefer that they be free in general.
Yeah.
And they'd prefer that your theaters be free.
I understand that, but going to a movie theater and seeing, as Nicole Kidman says, dazzling images on a huge silver screen.
Yeah. Oh my God. It's like crack. They love it.
Do you know that there are bumper stickers and T-shirts with phrases from the Nicole Kidman commercials
I believe it.
all over America?
And you already know this guy does the powder.
Yeah, why aren't you selling those in your theaters?
Look, he's on it right now.
You
He
should.
can't even
There we
contain
go.
himself. He's on the powder
They
right
would sell.
now.
In LA,
on the powder right
write
now.
that one down, Ryan.
Yeah.
But coming back to seeing movies in a movie theater is something that Americans have done for more than a century. And no, it's
Yeah, I know what you mean,
yes,
bro.
there are. You know,
Big
there
bro.
have been other inventions along the way. So not as many people see movies today in theaters as they did in 1930. But it's still a wonderful experience, and it's done 800 million times a year in this country. And a little known statistic, and by the way, it's a really cheap date, even at what we charge in LA. Where are you going to find 2 or 3 hours of out-of-home experience in a nice setting, in a comfortable place, for $12 across the country on average, 18, probably 17, 18 here in LA.
The only guy you know that drinks Mountain Dew.
Try 22 on a Friday night, but we'll let that slide.
Only if you see it in PLF. But I think that preserving for your kids and their kids the chance to see movies in a movie theater 20 years from now and 50 years from now and 80 years from now, that's a good thing. And people, I mean, look, if COVID taught us anything, it's like your house or your apartment's really nice, but you don't want to spend every moment imprisoned in it. You want to get out. You want to go do something. I remember it was like sometime in late 2020.
Yeah, that's why.
And I
That's
actually
why I
left my
go
house
to the
and I went to
movies.
Home
It's like
Depot.
an experience.
And I spent 3 hours
do
there.
something.
And it was like the most exciting thing I'd done in 6 months. I was so, wow, look at this place. It's amazing what they have here. And I want to do that for your kids and your grandkids. I want to preserve that theaters still exist and that theaters are still viable. And you can go to your movieplex down the street and watch a movie on a big screen. And so that's why the Windows thing is so important.
Are you getting teary listening to this?
If we can convince...
I'm in a theater every month.
If we can convince studios, and this is a big if, because we'll get there with some. We're already there with Disney. We'll get there with others. If we can convince every studio, which might be a pipe dream to think of, but we can convince everybody that they should religiously adhere to a 45-day window. I think that makes movie theaters more profitable. Movie theaters being more profitable means we can sustain ourselves as an industry, and it means your kids and your grandkids get to go watch movies in movie theaters 50 years from now. I think that's a good thing.
All right, we are coming to the end of our journey here.
As opposed to free at home.
Yes,
on
we're
day
coming to the end of our journey. Do you regret doing this? Are you happy you did this interview?
This is great.
Is your PR guy going to say the same backstage?
I'll ask him. I don't know. He told
He
me
didn't come out and stop the interview, so
no,
that's
but he
good.
told me not to be funny, and they've been laughing all night.
Oh, good.
So
Do you have any other questions? I have a couple, but we don't need to get to them.
he said I should
I
be.
have a couple,
he
but
said
I
I
feel
should.
like we've...
He said I should be a boring CEO type and just like
Oh, but that's not
float
fun.
under. Well, that's what I.
Okay.
Yeah.
One last question. You can have the last one here.
You mentioned at the beginning how you'd spent the last 10 years trying to figure out how to get that 14% occupancy up. And you keep referring to your theaters as movie theaters. And I feel like one of the things that people have talked about and tried is programming things that are not movies. Do you think there will ever be a point at which you see a movie theater as something that isn't just for movies? And if so, what will it be for?
Well, you are so. I mean, you are.
It has
I
to
just
be.
come and tell you you're right or wrong.
It has to be. It has to be. We have to innovate the theater business, or if you don't, it will die. If you don't innovate, you die. That's business 101. You must innovate or you die. That's business 101.
So right. Well, how did you?
I had that too.
Oh,
but
okay. I'll give that one to you then. Literally earlier today, I talked to one of my
Hold
senior
the
vice
mic to your
presidents.
mouth,
We've got to get
Adam.
sports rights. We just got to get sports rights. We've been trying for years, mostly unsuccessfully. We showed for 3 seasons. We showed NFL games We showed all the wrong games. We did. We got the rights from DirecTV, and what they had the rights for were what are called the out-of-market games. And what I found out is that in Chicago, they don't want to watch Seattle play Jacksonville. They want to see the Bears. And in Denver, they want to see the Broncos. And in, and I guess in LA, I mean, when I lived in LA a long time ago, there wasn't even a football team here, but there are, I guess you want to watch the Rams and the Chargers in LA. But people want to, so we've been showing the wrong games.
Well, Cosm is essentially that.
I was going to say, do you you see Cosm, you see the Sphere, do you feel like, I mean, Sphere's a little expensive, but do you feel like that should be in a movie theater?
Well, if you know what it costs to build a Cosm, with its very, I went to check it out. I would say that the cost of Cosm, I'm just sort of remembering, it's a while since I looked, it was like 30 times what it cost to build one movie theater, auditorium. So we probably couldn't put that in 850 locations with 10 screens. But I do think that, I know, because I went to see some of the wrong NFL games in our theaters. And watching a football game on a 55-foot screen is pretty good.
Why don't you do Monday Night Football? That's Disney. You have a relationship with Disney. They could distribute Monday Night Football via your theaters.
We got really close, but we weren't able. We got Disney on board. We weren't able to get the NFL on board.
Why not?
If we don't innovate, you die.
They want the content in more places.
Ask the NFL.
Okay.
I got to send a cease and desist letter. So,
oh, wow.
Yeah. But having said that,
you say we need to fill our theaters on Monday nights.
I completely agree. But sports rights is one. Earlier today, yesterday, I talked to an important executive about maybe live streaming concerts.
He's getting tired, bro. He's getting tired. Hold the mic to your mouth, Adam.
At 277 of our 540 U.S. theaters.
His lines, his white dotted lines are wearing off, guys. Adam's dotted lines are wearing off. He's getting tired, man. He can't even hold the mic up.
To a theater. So that's an interesting idea. The biggest idea I'm working on, I can't talk to you about.
Really? Oh, yeah, you can. We're amongst friends.
Not till January or February.
Super Bowl?
No, it's not.
Guys, he's alluding to a big idea for January or February. Wonder what it could be.
But
this is what the Twitter post was about. I wonder what it could be. Let's see what he got to talk about here.
To pull this one off, this is a really amazing idea, but we haven't pulled it off yet, so I can't.
The Taylor Travis wedding. Call Scott Swift right now.
One thing I learned about, the one thing I never joke about is Taylor Swift.
Oh, God. All right. You and me both.
Bro, he's a freaking Look at this man when he thinks about Taylor Swift, dude. Look at this guy when he thinks about Taylor Swift.
I just am very reverent, as she properly deserves.
All right, Adam, Aron, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
All right, guys, so that was Saving Movie Business with CEO of AMC Theaters, Adam Aron himself. Let me know what you guys thought about that in the comments down below. If you watch this live, let me know what you guys think about it right now, man. I appreciate you, anybody who watched this video, because I did record this video live. I appreciate you guys. We're diversifying on content, trying new things. Make sure you guys tune into our live streams because we do this kind of stuff all the time. We're going to be doing this stuff more often. You never know when something could be popping off when we find a piece of content. Also, we give you guys stock and crypto news as it drops, so make sure you guys check out those live streams. I appreciate you guys. That was, again, How to Save the Movie Business with Adam Aron, CEO, alluding to something coming up possibly here. What do you guys think that's going to be, man? I appreciate you guys. As always, man, have fun, stay safe, make money. Peace out, gang. Until next time. Peace, y'all.